All right, I'm here today with my good friend Gene Wright. How are you today, sir?
I'm doing fine, thank you.
Well, what branch of the military did you serve
I served in the Army.
in? In the Army, what years?
Let's see. Graduated from SMS in '67. Went from that into the Army. I had already been in the reserves, but that was on paper only.
Yeah.
Went up to Kansas City, catch a ride to Fort Dix, New Jersey.
Had you ever been out west before, or out east before?
No.
No.
And Fort Dix, the one thing I remember from that is we got a long weekend, and about 4 of us went into New York. And
This was in '67.
right.
Yeah. Okay.
And we were Times Square Motel, I think it was, that we stayed at. We were all in bed, and somebody's knocking on the door. So one of the guys got up, and there was a policeman holding a room key. Whoever opened the door to the room left the key in. I'm thinking, how could you leave the key in the door?
Times Square, New York.
Yeah, I mean, where are you from? Even I know that you don't leave a key in the door of a hotel room.
Culture shock, I'm sure, for some.
Yeah.
And then, God, you've been in New York in 1967. There would have been some pretty good concerts happening on that part of the country in '67. Did you go to any shows, anything like that?
No.
No shows?
We basically were pretty much confined to base during our training.
Mm-hmm.
Like I say, when we went to New York, I think that was a 3-day holiday weekend, and so it would have been either '67 late or '68 early. So,
What was your job in the Army?
well, I ended up as a scout dog handler.
A scout dog handler.
Right.
Did you? Okay. So how did you ended up there? How'd you get there?
Well, went down to Fort Benning after Fort Dix, and went through some training there. And then they were asking for volunteers. They wanted people that had security clearances. I had it. 3 of my buddies had it. So we figured, hey, the longer we are in training, the less time we have to be in Vietnam, because 90% chance that's where we'd end up.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So we volunteered for the Scott Dog training, and we had that for, I want to say, at least 8 weeks there at Fort Benning. Then in May of '68, we finished that up, had 30 days leave, I think. And then when we went back, we flew from Fort Benning the airfield that they had there, flew to Alaska, stopped there, flew to Japan, stopped there, and there we changed planes and all our equipment. That included our dogs, our crates, their crates, a couple of deuce and a halfs, and one Jeep, I believe, as well as a water tank and basically everything that we would need. That included tents, and when I say tents, they were what they called squad tents. They were the large tents. They weren't one-man tents.
Yeah, they were the big, think the MASH size kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. So did you have your own specific dog, or did you work with one dog as you trained it, or were you able to just take on any dog that had the training?
Well, I ended up with a second dog that I had. The first dog I had for maybe 3 days, and the sergeant that was in charge of the training said, "This dog and you are not a good combination."
Yeah.
And so they took that dog away from me and gave me another one. And I had that dog through the rest of the training and there in Vietnam.
Wow.
Until I came back.
Wow. So that second one was the one.
Second one was the one.
That's cool. What was his name?
That was Pup.
Pup?
Yep.
That's a good name. It's not easy to forget then, I guess.
No.
Right?
Well, these dogs were basically all donated to the service. I don't know whether or not the people got some remuneration, but they were basically all came in from civilian sources.
Yeah.
Individuals that would drop them off I assume they had a recruiting system set up.
Huh. Wow.
But,
I wonder if do you think they still do the scout dog thing? Is that still a thing? I mean,
there are still scout dogs in the military.
Yeah.
Both, you had 3 types of dogs. You had the scout dog, you had tracker dogs, and you had guard dogs. And we had one in our unit that would have easily made a guard dog. He was one that you just learned to give him a wide berth.
Yeah.
And we had a set of twins in our unit, and which I thought you were not supposed to have since World War II, but we had a set of twins.
Yeah.
And one of them ended up with this dog.
Really?
And he had his hands full with that dog.
I bet. What was his name? Do you remember?
I have no idea.
You just try to forget about the dog sometimes.
Yeah.
What'd you say? Wide berth, right?
Yeah.
That's cool. So so you went through your dog scout training, and then all you guys that were in that kind of go to, like, you know how each unit or squad or whatever has their own specialty, like each one's got this guy who does this, he's combat engineer, he's for this part, and then so did you guys spread out like that, or did you guys stay together?
No. With our training unit, there were 70 some odd guys in it. We broke that down into 2 platoons. We went, the platoons went over together, and we broke up, split up into our individual platoons there in Vietnam. And we went, my platoon, we were at Benoit Army Base just outside Saigon, and we were assigned to the 101st Airborne. And they had a new commander in the brigade that we were assigned to, and he was up north of Hue, and he finally, after a couple of weeks, decided, "You're assigned to me, but I have no clue as to what you do and how you do it, and I can't determine that with you down in Saigon and me north of Hue." So he sent for us, and we loaded up a plane, a couple planes, and flew up with all our equipment and stuff, and landed up south of Hue at a base there, and I can't remember the base. Then we drove around Hue, and it's spelled H-U-E, and I still pronounce it W-A-Y.
Yeah, yeah.
But they had, during Tet, the North Vietnamese and Viet Cong had blown a couple bridges, and those bridges had not been totally repaired. I think they had 2 bridges, 1 lane each, and one into Hue and one at the other end of Hue. So we drove across and through Hue. We made our way back to Highway 1 and went up Highway 1 to LZ Sally. And we were assigned an area on the perimeter of LZ Sally. We got to pull guard duty at night in our sector. We think we got shelled once, and but the perimeter was not penetrated, so...
Yeah. You took your dog with you when you did patrols and stuff like that?
That was the idea.
Yeah. Yeah, let me ask you said you were with the Airborne. Did you jump?
I was given the option of either jumping or giving blood. I tried to give blood, and after 40 minutes, they said, "Thank you. We appreciate your trying, and you're free to go." And that was while we were still at Fort Benning.
Really? Wow.
And I'm going, okay.
Hey, at least you tried, right?
Yes, you know.
Yeah, for sure. Well, food's here. Gene, thank you so much for coming to lunch with me today, and thank you very much for your service. I really
You're quite
appreciate it.
welcome.